Morning. Morning, TK.
Good morning, Peter.
Just realised looking back at some of these videos that I say exactly the same thing every single time.
Every single
time. Consistency is a good thing. Speaking of consistency, Schultz family have been the custodians of turkey flat since about the 1860s.
Yeah, right.
So probably got a rough idea what they're doing. I think turkey flat was originally planted a little bit earlier than that, and they had 70-something varieties originally planted way back then. Not so many now, but one of the fun ones they've got is Pedro Ximenez, which just sounds awesome to say and is even better to drink. A little Spanish variety. Pedro Ximenez, which is something that people call me after a few drinks, Pedro. But again, just running with this theme of what things to drink at this time of the year, and nothing reminds me of Christmas cake like Pedro Ximenez. So
it actually does taste like blended Christmas cake, doesn't it?
And I think that's the kind of the fun thing about this kind of style of wine. It's not the kind of thing, again, you're going to necessarily neck every day of the week, but sitting down after a meal, just sort of contemplating life, maybe some cheese, something like that. This is the wine. I often describe this as kind of often with cheese plates you get the muscatels, the dried grapes on there. This is basically the liquid version of that.
Tastes exactly like a muscatel.
Yeah. So, and I think there's a concentration there of both fruit and sugar, which just makes it delicious.
Oh, unbelievable. But every single time I do get a glass of this, I do remember a quite an erratic Christmas where my father, who was quite partial to a beverage or two, and my lovely wife decided to punish a full bottle of Pedro after Christmas lunch, and he said it was the greatest hangover in 60 years of living.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and worth every single minute of it, though, I'm guessing. It is something, and what I love about this version from the Barossa in particular is that it's not just sugar. There's more there. There's a sort of savoury sort of element to it, which I really like. Almost like that fruitcake sort of spice kind of element. That sort of, you get that. I don't know. Maybe it's just my brain, the psychosomatic thing, thinking about. You've got that peel, you've got that sort of dried cooking spices, the nutmegs and that kind of stuff. Yeah. It just makes me want to just drink it.
It's bloody delicious. It's so good.
It's interesting when it comes to this kind of thing. For me, as I said, I would often go towards cheese, and because of the intensity of this, you need quite of an intense cheese. But what else could we do with something like this?
Mate, I think the lazy fallback for Pedro is always something chocolate related.
Yep.
But I'm with you. I think that I would love to give this wine to somebody who's not really partial to blue cheese, and go, you got to drink that and eat that. They may be terrified, especially if it's a big one like Roquefort or something like that. But there's a really cool one called Gorgonzola Dolce, which is, it's a bit more creamy. It's not as angry, and
it's kind of the entry level for blue cheese in terms of it doesn't scare people as much.
No, that's right. And there's even one, Gorgonzola Dolce Mascarpone, where they layer it with mascarpone cheese, which is quite literally like
that sounds
blue
like
cheese
heaven.
pudding.
Yeah.
But maybe something like that. I mean, maybe I might put a couple of cheese notes up, but also give you probably the greatest chocolate cake recipe, just so we can make sure we tick the box. But I would encourage everybody to try a piece of blue cheese with this wine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's sometimes we're trying to keep things simple, and that idea of just a really good piece of cheese, a really good bottle of PX like this turkey flat from the Barossa, and that's a pretty good Christmas afternoon sorted, I reckon.
Mate, I'm way more partial to a piece of cheese than a chocolate cake.
I understand.
Either one of them is going to go great with this wine.
Yeah,
so
agreed. All right, turkey flat, Pedro Ximenez, Christmas done. Tick.